What up? What up? It is Golden Spaces, an Odyssey original podcast with Justin and Nat. So we are here after yet another Warriors road loss. And until these guys stop making a fool of me, I keep saying the road loss stuff is over and they keep losing on the road. Um, and yet, Justin, I don't know if it is my bias as a Warriors fan, if I'm delusional, but I just refuse to believe that the Warriors are incapable of winning on the road. I refuse to believe that they've just forgotten how to win on the road. So, yeah, I mean, we do need to break down the game, but I think I actually want to start there. Like, I mean, you and I have always talked about the fact that, like, having home court in the playoffs is important no matter how people try to minimize it, right? Um and the whole road versus playing at home thing is largely about role players, not star players, right? So we know
Mhm.
that. Um and one would imagine in the playoffs, like, Steve Kerr's going for it. And what I mean by that is, like, still with some of the rotations tonight and things, like, it's like, okay, you're not fully going for it because you're still, like, resting, like, wanting to get rest for guys and things like that, right? So the rotations to me were still a little like, seriously, girl, like, we're not at the stage yet where we're just like going for it. So I don't know if it's those things that make me say, like, all right, when they really have to win a game on the road, they will. But at some point, they got to start winning games on the road. So, are you worried? Do you think they're incapable of winning on the road? I just help me understand this because it's starting to become something perplexing to me.
Mhm. I don't think they're incapable. I think they just need to be whole. Like they don't have the team to be able to withstand like good teams or even average level teams playing well at home. Like they just can't withstand it. Like they need all of their troops in order to do it. Which is obviously not the same as last year where guys were in and out of the lineup all season and they were still winning games on the road just because they just had that group that had the experience. They had different skill sets they can go to, and depending on matchups, they can lean one way as opposed to another. Whereas right now, especially without Wiggins, without GB2 providing the inside presence and providing the perimeter defensive presence, it's like we're living and we're down by the three, right? Today a team got close enough from three to them that all the other aspects of the game were the difference, right? Like the finishing inside and the free throws, this discrepancy or disparity. That's what won the Thunder the game. Like, yeah, Steph hit 10 threes, Clay hit 5, the Warriors hit 20 as a team, but OKC hit 17, right? So you didn't lose the 3-point battle by a ton, but you won the inside battle and you won the free throw battle. And yeah, I just think they just it's very hard for them to win without their entire team playing right now on the road. Whereas at home, other teams don't shoot as well from three, so it's a little bit easier to get by when you don't have all your troops. And I think
And the
that's
role
really what
players
it
are
is.
going to play better.
Right. Role players going to play better for sure.
Um, yeah, I mean, was the shooting fake or real from OKC tonight?
It was a little fake.
It's a
It
little
was a little
fake.
fake. I think they shot like 40 something, 45, 46% from three. Lou Dort hit 2 threes. He's like a 30% shooter. Usman Jang, he's about 35 or something percent, which is like he can hit an open three, but I think he was 2 for 5. Isaiah Joe's a knockdown shooter, so you can expect him to shoot some. Shea is an okay shooter, but he hit 2 threes. I don't even think he averages two 3-point makes a game. Like everybody that played for the Thunder hit a three, and only like 2 or 3 of them didn't hit multiple threes. So that's very clearly fake. Um, and it is what it is. Like for some reason, every team just decides not to miss when the Warriors come into their building, and that's just what comes with being the champs, I guess.
Yeah. Of course, like Shea hadn't been playing, then he decided to play tonight. So of course I'm expecting John Morant to play in the next game. Though they just have so much going on that may not happen. I don't know. Like there's just been a lot of talk that he might miss a number of games. And they have other things going on with their team. But I mean, regardless, we saw them come back against the Clippers and they didn't win, but they're like a really big quarter the other night. So can't really like sleep on any team, and they'll be at home. But the turnovers, so there's two things that you said. One is really becoming a pet peeve of mine, but we'll revisit that in a second. The turnovers, we know that this team is a turnover prone team, but when they're as excessive as they were in this game, like that's just hard. So you're continuing to get into a deficit, having to climb back in, and they do. They keep climbing back in, and they get within one, they get within a few. They keep doing it, right? Now, when they're doing that, are they doing it with their defense, or are they just like not being sloppy and then like their offense is good and the other side is missing? And I'm asking that because it was still a pretty high scoring game. Like at the half, both teams had over 60. So I'm still a little shaky on the Warriors defense.
Yeah, I think, the defense for today, it was mostly just OKC just couldn't miss. And then they just kept fouling, or at least they kept getting called for fouls. And that just kind of let OKC get right back into a rhythm, and they just started hitting jump shots again. Shea couldn't miss from mid-range. Giddey was hitting jump shots and floaters. Jalen Williams. Yeah, they, like I said, off air, the Warriors just keep finding new ways to lose on the road. They lost to the Lakers because they couldn't score. And now they lost to the Thunder because they couldn't stop them from scoring. Like high scoring game, they lose. Low scoring game, they lose. It's just getting old. GP2 and Wiggins can't come back soon enough, to be honest. Like, because they need everything that those two guys bring. They need that. I think that's the biggest puzzle piece that can, help them get right on the road.
Yeah, the thing is, we have no sense of when Wiggs may come back. And the turnovers, some of them did seem to be like a team that's not familiar with each other, like miscommunications. And I guess what I mean by that is like a lack of familiarity with playing with one another. Not all of them, some of them. But then some of them also were just like stupid. Like, and like by the end, even though they were sort of trying to still win, I think they had like checked out. Like that pass Clay tried to do, like Clay, who were you passing to? That like there was no one there who was gonna get that pass. It's just like, things like that. It's like, okay, like you've checked out of this game. I get it. Like you've decided that there's probably not a way to win, which is why that pass happened. But like Steph was still trying to win the game. For like a good portion of that, he was still trying to win the game. Now we're recording right now. So I'm not seeing what the post game stuff is, nor am I interested in hearing them. But my guess is it's gonna be a lot of now's the time, we got to do it. Steph looked not pleased. Like he wasn't like smiling and laughing, and he wasn't like yelling at anyone, but you could just see it in his face. Like you can tell when he's not pleased. And then there was like some other stuff that like happened during the game, so which I want to dig into, but let's just finish wrapping up talking about the game, like collectively. Is there anything else that you noticed that key takeaways, anything that you thought was important to call out that we haven't already discussed?
Yeah, I mean, I hate to be this guy, but the referees were absolutely pathetic tonight. Countless offensive fouls that were just terrible calls on the Warriors. A lot of their turnovers were that, right? Illegal screen calls that never get called. Josh Giddey's parked into the restricted area, just flops off of Draymond, bumping him, gets the call. Steph didn't even set a screen. Isaiah Joe just falls. Offensive foul going the other way.
That
And
loose
like I
ball
said,
call at the end with
loose
Dante
ball,
and
yeah, on Dante.
what was that?
He called it as soon as Dante touched the ball. Like they didn't even get a chance
And
to
he
collide.
ran
He already called it.
into Dante. Like, to me, Dante got to the ball first, I guess is what I'm saying.
Exactly.
So
Just terrible. Just terrible all across the board. They walk into the paint and get a foul every single time. Steph's having to throw up anything, still not getting calls. Just terrible officiating tonight, and it helped the Thunder out. I'm not gonna say this is why they won the game, but they definitely got some help from the refs. It was just a pathetic showing. I think really in the second half it was really nasty against the Warriors. So that's one thing I definitely take away from the game. But Warriors play better, and it shouldn't come down to that, but just terrible.
yeah. I want to get into a couple of the players and some other stuff. So let's move on from this recap, if that's okay with you.
That's cool.
Okay. So before we actually dig into the players, I just want to say I am personally getting disgusted by the number of threes the Warriors take. We're really reaching Rockets levels of three. It's like, come on. And I get it. I get that we have the Splash Bros, but it's like, how many times do they have to see like that this excessive amount of threes not working for them to clean it up for a game, go inside more, get, Kuminga going downhill. Jordan will drive some more in attack or take some middies, and then they just revert back to the same thing. Like I don't understand. I literally am perplexed. Like, do you not feel during the game that it's not working? And it's like, I understand that Steph is back. I do. I understand it. But it's like all the good things that you guys bottled up has like now gone out the window. The defense, playing the defense because you need to play it, maybe because you don't have like the offensive firepower, that's gone. Like, I'm not seeing Clay do some of the stuff that he was doing before. Jordan, I guess you're back to now trying to figure it out on the bench. But the number of threes, it is disgusting to me.
I feel you. I mean, with Steph and Clay, they definitely hunt their threes a little bit. But I'm cool with them taking any amount of threes, really, as long as they're good shots. And I think tonight they were mostly good shots and Steph was hot.
Right.
But just like last
Not
episode,
them.
fucking Jordan Poole, bro.
Wait, hold on. I am going to say this about Clay, though. I really do feel like Clay is a really great cutter, and I still think he can move some more and get some other things closer to the rim. I do.
Sure. He only took 4 twos today. That's got to be higher.
Yeah.
Jordan Poole, and he went 2 for 4 on those twos. Yeah, Jordan Poole. No, actually, he went 4 for 4 on those twos. Probably should have taken some more.
Yeah. Exactly. Like, this is.
But Jordan, 1 for 7 from 3, 3 for 5 from 2. Why are you taking more threes than twos? He should never take more threes than twos. You are not that level of shooter. You never have been, and you definitely aren't this season. Like, your jump shot is just not there this season. It can get there, but you have to be the guy attacking the rim. Dante DiVincenzo is not going to attack the rim as a scorer. That's not his thing. And it never really was his thing, but it's definitely not his thing now. He's a spot-up shooter, ball mover, stuff like that. Kuminga, 8 for 11, mostly twos. Draymond, 5 for 7, mostly twos. So shout out to them for that. But it all comes back to Jordan Poole, bro. You have to be the guy attacking the rim. There's no shot blocker.
His scoring was like nowhere tonight. Like, I mean, he didn't really help that much offensively. Sorry, I'm just
gotta get downhill. I mean, at the end of the game, he had like 2 wide open threes that is like a player of his caliber. You got to expect him to hit those, and he didn't hit them because his jumpers is not there this season. But you got to make it an emphasis to say forget the three, man. If the lane is there for me to drive, you just got to take it, especially since there's no shot blockers on OKC. Like, he should be living at the line. He should be living in the paint.
Look at De'Aaron Fox. Look at what he's doing. You can be that.
Yeah. I mean,
you're quick. You can get anywhere you want. Like, I just don't understand.
Yeah. I mean, we brought it up last pod about how he's been yanked and all that type of stuff. It just seems like I don't know exactly how much Kerr is really like leaning into Jordan to make certain leaps in this game, right? We see some of the stuff he does defensively that he was doing early in the season or even last season where it's like, why are you even doing that? Like, are you being coached out of this? Because it doesn't seem like he is, like there's certain instances where he's on an island with the player one-on-one. Guy gives him a good move and he immediately just puts both hands on him as if he's like a little kid trying to guard an adult, and it's a foul every time. Or they just blow by him and he lay it up, and it's like, how is this still a habit? This is not a championship level habit. And then the whole 3-point hunting stuff, like, just get to the rim. How is he not being coached to do this? I just don't understand it. And I mean, it's not just that cut and dry, but the change in mentality has to be there. Got to be more defensive minded and got to be more downhill minded. That's just going to take his game and take the team to another level, but he just hasn't done it all season. So I'm just curious as to why that is.
Him, Kuminga, and when Andrew Wiggins come back, like, it should always be downhill stuff, like, for them. Like,
it should be a layup line.
Yeah, like, and it's like, because I don't think that Lamb did not play tonight, so that gave Kuminga more time, and that's the thing. Like, he just scored a good amount for him because, like, he just had the time to play and he was in the game, right? But I just feel like they need to be intentional about actions for Kuminga and actions for Wiggins, who we know often will get lost, and Jordan. Like, Jordan, we need your scoring, but your scoring should be going downhill. And, like, it will end up opening up threes for you. Like, you'll get into rhythm, you'll feel good, and then you can, like, work yourself inside out versus, like, outside in. Like, I just this seems so, like, basic. This seems so
and that's why I'm like, who's telling him or who isn't telling him to do these things? Because if we see it, I know they see it. So it's like, is it the whole, Draymond punched you, so we don't want to seem like we're piling on to you? You know what I mean? Like, is it kind of like
we've heard her talk about it in the post game. So it's just like,
and obviously, doing? Like, their struggles this season is not all on him. I mean,
we're not saying that.
But it's just something that is an easy opportunity for him and the team to get another edge to help them this season. And they just, like, it's a missed opportunity because he hasn't been doing it.
No. And while I love seeing Steph score 40, that's not the way. It should be like Steph, like, closer to 30, Clay, like, between 20 and 25, and Jordan, like, high teens to 20. Like, that's what it should be.
Yeah. And I mean, today their defense was just pitiful. Like, it was pretty balanced. Like, Steph had 40, 23 shots, really efficient, but I mean, Kuminga put in 20 something, Clay put in 20 something. It's just, they just couldn't guard a soul.
No. There was like no defense. That's why I'm just like,
first and third quarters, their defense has been horrible. Probably all season, but I specifically remember they just suck. They just suck to start games and start halves, whether it's offensively or defensively.
Keep getting into deficits to start.
Yeah. Against the Lakers, they couldn't score in the first or the third quarter. And against the Thunder tonight, they couldn't stop the Thunder from scoring in the first or third quarter. 77 points combined first and third quarter. So,
and then there's a clip floating around on NBA Twitter of, like, Draymond getting frustrated by Poole.
Yeah, he was doing too much right there. I get it because he was open and it's like he wants the ball to be moved and stuff like that, but pouting and then trying to show your teammate up right there just because he missed you on a split-second cut, that was just doing a lot, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, there's just like obviously stuff there between the two of them still. And so, I mean, Dre's like that, but it's also just like your level of exasperation with him is probably also what led you to punch him like earlier in the season. If we're just being real, like you just get short with him. You know, sometimes there's people like that, like they're just triggers for you. They're short. They just make you kind of lose your patience sooner. And it seems like Jordan has that effect on him, and maybe even a couple of others on the team. You know, like he can be annoying, but it's like,
Yeah.
And some of this is because of the situation you guys put yourselves in. And so now like the stress levels are like, I don't know if it's stress, but it's just like, we got to win. We got to do this. It's not happening. And that's also what leads to like the mistakes and the rush shit stuff on the floor, right? Because it's like, we got to make something shake. And, you know, you're not making things shake. And so, you know, it's just like a snowball effect. And they got to get to the postseason so they have a spot in the top 6. And then it's like the slate is just wiped clean. But you would like to see some better habits from them going in. And we've seen it. We see flashes of it during the game, right? So they got to put it all together. But I still see remnants of the championship team in there, even with them down players. So it's just like, y'all got to figure it out until you get your guys back.
Yep. Got to put it both together and not just at home. But I mean, as we speak, the Mavericks just won, meaning the Warriors are down to 6.
Right, because they own the tiebreaker. I was hoping the Mavs would lose. They have the same record, but Mavs have the tiebreaker right now, right? But we play the Mavs again. So we have the how many times have we played the Mavs so far this year? Once or twice?
Once.
So they should be seeing each other 2 more times.
Yeah.
At a minimum.
They might only see him twice. Yeah,
March 22nd, but they had to usually play at least 3 times a year.
They played them twice. They beat them once. That was the game Steph got re-injured. That was the game Steph had the ligament injury, and they lost to them earlier in the season where Clay missed the shot to send it to overtime.
So then why are they ahead of us if we have the same record?
Probably margin of victory. Actually, nah, because they won by 3, and
they must have a tiebreaker in some other category. Are they in the same division?
No, they are not.
They might be like leading their division or something. They might be, maybe that's a, you know what I mean?
Could be.
Because I think sometimes if you like win your division, that's automatically like a tie break. Yeah.
Yeah, they're second.
If it's 1-1 and they have the same exact record, then I don't understand why Dallas right now technically is ahead of them. But they're in a statistical tie for that spot.
Right. Dallas is second in their division. The Warriors are third in their division.
Might be division record. Okay. So anyway, let's move off of this. You want to look ahead a little bit?
Big stretch coming up.
Yeah.
Even bigger now.
Okay. So their next game is against Memphis. And then they have Milwaukee. And then they have, is it Phoenix?
Then Phoenix, and then the Clippers, who are only a half game behind.
Yeah. But the Clippers, I don't really trust them. So they'll probably lose something before then. But the Warriors have 3 games, one of which is at home. But the thing is, they're coming off of 2 losses. So they're going to be desperate. They're going to play desperate somewhere and win. So hoping they get at least 2 of the next 3. But I was gonna just say like they're gonna win the next 3, but I know we're like off of like making predictions on this show. So I really do think they're gonna win that Milwaukee game at home. I do. I don't know why, but that's my instinct. And I just also feel like, I don't feel like, even though I don't want them to lose, I don't feel like losing to Memphis is a big of a deal because you've already beaten Memphis twice this year, and they'll still have like one more game against Memphis. The only thing will be like if Ja isn't there and the team is kind of in shambles, you need to capitalize on it. And you've yet failed to capitalize on LeBron not playing. And then like, I don't want to just like make it seem like OKC just sucks because they actually don't. And so, they're not just like, when people are making it seem like they're a team that the Warriors should have just walked in and beaten, it's not so simple. But
and they already beat OKC twice. It's hard to keep beating the team like
right. So, but to me, you have like, you didn't beat Milwaukee and the Suns have won the last 2 games. Like those games you got to win. You got to win them. I don't even care that Kevin Durant's there. You got to win it for just like the season story and, whatever. So, like I said, I would like them to beat Memphis. And I think now's the time to pounce on Memphis because they're in shambles. They're in shambles. Like they've lost some players. Yeah. Even if Ja is coming back, I don't know if Steven Adams is playing yet. Like they are in shambles. So you go in on the attack or, we'll see. So I don't know what their approach is going to be, but we'll see, I guess.
Yeah. Memphis is somehow beating the Lakers right now. I mean, the Lakers are just kind of,
No, but that's good. I want them to win rather than lose. Because then less desperate.
Less desperate, and then it also pushes the Lakers back.
Keeps the Lakers down. Yeah. So I'm actually rooting for Memphis tonight. Are they in LA?
Yes.
Okay. Well, the Warriors could only lose 2 more games to hit 50 this season, and my guess is they're not going to go undefeated for the rest of the season. So pretty sure this won't be a 50-game season. Can we get to 45, you think?
Yeah, I think so. Just
so you
doing
still
the
think
numbers.
The run is coming?
Yeah, even before, during the All-Star break, I already looked at the schedule and I said first 6 or so games out of the All-Star break, they should win at least 4 of those, and they have. And then this stretch in the middle right here, just try to go 500, try to win 5 out of 10. And then the last 8 or so games of the season, 5 of them are at home. You play Philly, Minnesota, New Orleans, San Antonio, Denver, OKC again, Sacramento, Portland. They should win like 6 of those games, like at least. So it's kind of like a mini run after the All-Star break. Then it get a little interesting, and then another run to end the season, and they'll probably end up somewhere around 45, 46 wins.
Okay.
So 0-2 in that middle stretch. So they got to go 5-3 to finish out that stretch before they get a nice little homestand and get ready for the playoffs. And hopefully Wiggins and Gary are back by then, and they'll be running a little bit.
Well, Justin, I truly don't have much more to say. Actually, I don't have any more to say. They need to get it together. I'm sure we'll see some post-game commentary, but like I said, whatever. I'm not in the mood to hear any of it. I know what I'm expecting. I'll see once I watch it and listen to it if it aligns with what I thought it would be, but I'm just like over them. I'm over them. We didn't do a vibe check tonight. We're not high vibes, but we're just, I'm not going to say a vibe check, but where are we on the concerned scale?
Not any more concerned than we have been all season. It's been the same story all season. So I can't be super concerned. We know they're pretty close to unbeatable at home, but we also know like they're missing 2 very key players right now. So I'm not super concerned. And at the end of the day, I'm concerned once they lose. Like once they lose, and they have no more season left. That's when it's like, oh well,
Yeah.
you know, they got to get out of these habits. Though they got to get out of these habits somehow at some point, or else they're just going to lose. You know.
I just hope that when Wiggs does return, assuming he does, that I mean he's missed so much time, so there's going to be conditioning and getting back into shape, and if he's on or off, but then there's just like whatever the situation is that's keeping him out, you know.
It won't just go away when he's back.
No, exactly.
Yeah. So you just got to pray it's, everything works out for the better. How about you? What's your concern level? It's growing
like,
a little bit.
I'm gonna always believe in the Warriors, but it's a lot of adversity, and maybe it's not. Well, it is, but I mean, like today we heard about Loon's, was it hip, and Andre, like something, and some of this stuff might be more like out of an abundance of caution than it is like they just can't and shouldn't play or whatever. Cause we know in the postseason people are playing banged up, but like the way that we're saying like this team sort of just needs everybody, it's like, but look, maybe like Steph got a big rest, so maybe that's a good thing. And
one thing that we haven't had to worry about this season is Steph Curry individually.
Right. But I'm just like, with Andrew, like it was kind of taking him some time to get into rhythm, whatever. But I guess to the extent that he had injury earlier, that should be like fully like okay now. So it's just a lot of things, like we said, like Dre's fingers banged up. So it's a lot to overcome. It's a lot to overcome.
They're gonna have to get a few breaks.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to get a few breaks. And I mean, we keep saying it could potentially be the Kings in the first round. Obviously, the way the Warriors are playing, you cannot just book the Warriors to beat the Kings, but they should beat the Kings. And they are now in prime position to see the Kings in the first round. They are in 6th. So some people will say, look at that and say that's not the worst thing in the world, but you're super close to the play-in. So something's got to give. Hopefully everything works out. Like I said, they got to get a few breaks, get some easy matchups or some easier matchups, first and second round. Get them some time to get into a rhythm, get Wiggins a rhythm, get Gary a rhythm, everybody healthy. And then at that point is, winner take all. But got to get there in one piece, got to get there in rhythm.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen. Yeah, like I said, I don't got more to say about them. So when's the next game? Thursday?
Right back at it.
Today's Thursday. Only Tuesday? Goodness gracious. So we'll be back Thursday. And then what, the other game is Saturday?
Yeah.
They got a game like every other day, right? For like Thursday, a minute.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Pretty much for the rest of the season. It's like every other day. They got one more back-to-back in there.
Yeah. So y'all will be hearing from us. I guess that's the answer. More content. All right. We appreciate y'all. Y'all know the drill. Thank you. Leave us a comment. Leave us a review. 5 stars only. Follow us. You see it here on the screen if you're watching on YouTube, at Golden Spaces Pod for Twitter and Instagram. Yeah. Share it with a friend. Tell people about us. I'm just like, we're so appreciative of the support, especially in a season where the Warriors are so wonky, right? Like that y'all have been giving us the support that you have and are tuned in and dialed in. So I think just we appreciate it, but it shows how much like we as a fan base are into the Warriors. So we definitely appreciate y'all, and we will do our best to help us all like go through it. All I know is the win is going to be so much sweeter, Justin.
Facts.
All right, y'all. Until next time, take care.